gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh yeah, there's my bitch.
Remember, the ball must travel 10 yards. It's loose. Mud Dogs football.
Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Oh, sorry. Rise and grind, baby. Rise and grind on this Thursday, July 11th. Less than 2 weeks from the start of the Dallas Cowboys training camp, right? 14? Yes. They all report yesterday, in 2 weeks from yesterday. Mark Holmes will be there at some point after that. Sometime in August, end of July. Him and, I guess, Big Sills. I doubt Philly 500 will show up. He doesn't show up for anything. But maybe he will. Who knows? But rise and grind, everybody. I want to give a big shout out to Louis T Network for coming on last night. I had a couple people say, oh, man, you're always so nice to the NFC East people. Listen, it's the first time I've had Louis on. The first time. He knows his stuff. But at the same point, you know me, once the balls get paused, once the football season is actually here, you know, I ain't gonna get on him for the first, it was more of an introductory meeting. You know, if I have Bad Dog Sports on, it would be the same type of thing. Then, if we ever get on again, then we're like, all right, you know me, I know you. You know, your first impression is always your best impression, I believe. So, with that being said, 2 weeks away, rise and grind, let's roll. It's not supposed to be as hot today, which is good. It is. So, it looks like they came and did my lawn yesterday. I guess they did. Interesting. So, but, ooh, yes. Look at that. It did rain overnight, too. It did rain overnight. You got 49ers coming out saying Brandon Ayuk is going to be a Niner. What are we talking about here? Brandon Ayuk is gone. And if he's not, Debo's gone. Brandon Ayuk, are you not paying attention to the internet? Brandon Ayuk saying he's going to end up with the Commanders, who still have over $37 million in cap space, people. $37 million. The Commanders are at an awesome spot financially. But I know what Louis too was doing. He was but then you heard him say, well, I think they'll be well over last year. More than 6 million. I had the Commanders just early on. Just at first glance. 7 or 8. First glance. 7 or 8 wins. But we are not there yet with the prediction. I may do like I did last year, just do a preseason and then a right before the season. That's what I'm probably going to do. I'll probably do an NFC East series. So, and just go over each game. We don't know much, right? And all we're going to hear in training camp is how great everybody looks. So, it's more about the preseason games that you're going to want to, get a look at. So, who knows at this point? We're 2 weeks away. Dallas has the question marks all over the place as far as who's going to show up. I think CeeDee Lamb will hold out. We've already talked about that. It's kind of exciting knowing that at least we'll have something to talk about. I keep hearing, anytime I do a video like that, sometimes I wonder if people don't actually watch it because they're just commenting on the headline. Daniel Jones versus Hurts. Obviously, I said Hurts, right? You gotta watch it. Logan, watch the video. I gave your team a lot of credit, like I always do. Unlike Eagles fans giving my team any credit. Like Drew, Drew, man, you've really been out of shape over 9-4. Again, if it's a team game, then I don't want to hear about Hurts has had all this, it's so great. You know what? I think the main reason, okay, I'm going to get right to it. I think the main reason why Eagles fans, Commanders fans, not so much, Commanders fans, Giants fans, why they want Dak Prescott gone, they're using this, he's a playoff choker. What do you really care? If they choke, that makes you happy. Drew's like, oh yeah, make him sign a mega deal. Well, Drew, he is 9-4 against you, but more importantly, Drew, Dak Prescott's record in the NFC East in his lifetime is 32 wins and 8 losses. 4 of those were the Eagles. So you should feel good about that. 32-8. Jalen Hurts, I believe, is 13-8. 13-8. So Jalen Hurts is going to have to win 29. Wait, 13. Hold up, 20, 33. 25? Yes. No. 20, 30. 19 more games in a row without losing in the NFC East. Let's see. That would be 6. He'd have to win like the next 3 years nonstop just to meet Dak's record. Okay? Dak dominates the NFC East, Drew. And in order to get to win the division, you have to dominate your division. So maybe that's why nobody wants him around. Drew, shout out to Drew. He just wants to see us suffer, so he wants Dak to stay. But in doing so, Drew also acknowledges, that's why he'll say he thinks Dak's a good quarterback. He just thinks he's a joker in the playoffs. He acknowledges, though, there is that spot in the back of his head, right? There is that thing where he don't want to admit it, but if the Cowboys actually do something, not to say he hasn't had talent, I'm not saying that, but we all can look. It's not what the Eagles have, right? Eagles have everything on a platter this year, offensively. Defensively, agree to disagree, Drew. I'm hearing a lot of Jim Johnson. Big Fangio's not Jim Johnson, okay? He's had a few stops. Is he horrible? No. Is he what he was? No. We'll see what he's going to do. I'm looking forward to it, because if the Eagles' defense is good, we're all in trouble. Because we know the offense is going to be decent. It has to be, right? And if it's not, I want to ask Drew, if the offense of the Eagles is not good, are you going to blame Jalen? You're going to blame Kellen. Wasn't good last year. So, and wasn't good. It's only been good the 1 year that he went to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying he's a horrible quarterback. Jalen's not a horrible quarterback. That's why I say the team game, Drew, because you saw the highs and the lows with Jalen. You see the highs and the lows with Dak. Now, Dak hasn't put in... I wish he would have put those 2 playoff wins in 1 year, then we wouldn't have to deal with anybody. Oh, well, he made it to the championship or the Super Bowl because you guys had to bye. So you only had to beat the Giants at home and the Niners at home, which is a good feat. The Niners was a good feat. You knocked out the quarterback. Hey, that's all's fair in love and football. So, kudos to you and your squad. It was an ugly game in the second half. They were playing with a third-string quarterback. And actually, it wasn't even a quarterback. They've since changed the rule. That way, that doesn't happen again in a playoff game where it's But the Eagles did it. We got to give them credit. We have to give them credit. But if a team game or solo game, anybody that says solo game, you're a fool. Stop comparing quarterbacks. Just because I criticize Dak or Jalen doesn't mean you got to come. Listen, I have 2 eyes. I'm fair. Jalen Hurts needs to be an RPO quarterback. Dak Prescott, when he was at his best, numbers aside, was RPO. Not 100% Dak. Dak can't do 100%. His leg is not the same. He has to wear a walking boot to go fishing. right? Do you wear walking boots to go fishing? No, I don't think so. I don't either. So, again, but I did watch part 2 of New York Giants Hard Knocks. And to be determined, but as of now, it looks like Saquon punked out. He punked out and did not. Now, I'll see what happened. But you saw Joe Shane, Giants GM, saying you're going to give us an opportunity to match. You're going to give us an opportunity. Now, maybe they did, and they said, we ain't paying you 13. We were balking at 12, right? Nobody wants to pay that for a running back. But, again, Eagles did. It's looking like Saquon just couldn't have been a man and said, you know what? I'm ready to move on. Saquon Barkley, I'm ready to move on. Thanks, coach, for everything. I think it'll do us both good to move on. That's all you had to do, Saquon. Now, if you said that in the next episode, then I'll give you kudos for that. But the way it looks, you're a little immature there, Saquon. Come on, bro. Again, it's a free market, but, you know, like how Dallas handled the Zeke Elliott thing, never burn your bridges. Because you never know when you might want to go back home to the Giants for a final season or two. Maybe to help them get over the top in a few years. You know what I'm saying? Never. My father always told me, never burn your bridges. Some people want to burn them to the ground. Well, then you put yourself out on an island like a T.O. Now, I'm not comparing him to T.O. I'm not. I'm just saying, don't burn your bridges. I thought that was not a very classy move. And Saquon, he acted like an immature kid on the phone. Say, yes, Joe. Listen, man, if I get an offer I like, I'm not gonna necessarily come back to you. Now, maybe, and that was after Joe Shane already said that they were not using the franchise tag. So it's not like, oh, well, they could slap the tag on me. They've already told him on camera. So that wasn't happening. So, a little surprised at Saquon. Maybe Saquon's doubting himself a little bit. You take the money, less pressure in Philly. Is there less pressure? That's the question. Let me know in the comments. Is there less pressure in Philly than in New York? I'm closer to Philly, so it's hard for me to go with that narrative. But I'm asking you, is there less pressure in Philly than there is in New York? Just curious. Let me know, because I would say no. I think New York is probably more pressure, but Philly is a lot of pressure too. It's right there. I would say Philly has more pressure to win it all because they've been to the mountain. Well, Giants have won 2 Super Bowls in the recent past. Eagle fans like to crap on the Giants. Giants have won 2 under Eli. That's not that far. But my question is, how long is too long? I'll be the first one to admit, you cannot take our Super Bowls away, but it's been over a quarter century. So anything over that is kind of like, all right, slow down. Have you seen Emmitt Smith? My man's gray beard, right? So I got a little gray too, but Emmitt Smith's a year or 2 older than me, maybe 3, but I think 2. But Emmitt is gray beard. That tells you how long it's been since the Cowboys won. So us Cowboy fans get a little salty because at the end of the day, you can't take them away. And becoming a runner-up don't mean shit. Losing in a Super Bowl means nothing. Okay? It's experience for your team, and then you expect them to get back immediately. Not go the other way for 2 straight years. You know what I'm saying? Literally 2 straight years the Eagles have went the other way. So much so they lost 7 in a row coming down the stretch last year. They need this year, or shit's going to get blowed up. Okay? Believe me or not, they are going to blow it up. If Jalen does not have a good year, Kellen's gone, Dracula's gone, they're blowing shit up. But that's what makes the NFL fun, because we know how much talent the Eagles have. We know how much talent the Cowboys have, but not in the running back room. And the offensive line is a question mark. I think it's going to be better, but that's me thinking. You know, that's me thinking. But anyway, I was all over the place this morning, but that's kind of how I feel. That's kind of how I feel. I'm just going to keep it real. That's how I'm feeling. So I will talk to everybody later on my lunchtime chat. Please share, like, subscribe. Don't forget to hit your notification bell on. Right? Game Time Brian, otherwise known as the mailman. So over it. Hat's going out, so over it. Late.